Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my videos, and today I'll be talking about the most anticipated movie of this year, Last Night in Soho, a movie that I've been waiting for so long for it to be released, and it's finally here. Well, it actually came out like a month ago, but still, I'm reviewing it finally. So, thank you guys for clicking on this video. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, comment down below. What's your favorite Edgar Wright movie? And maybe if you would like to rank the movies that he has made, that'd be very interesting to know, because a lot of people did that on my very first Last Night in Soho video. So I would like you guys to do it again. Also, if there's any movies from Edgar Wright that you would like me to review, listen in the comment section below as well. I'm very interested to know what is your favorite Edgar Wright movie, because this movie is definitely up there with movies that, like, one of my favorite horror movies, and I'm so excited to talk about it today. So yeah, let's get right onto the video. So Last Night in Soho starts with Eloise, played by Thomasin McKenzie. I keep pronouncing her name wrong. Apologies, sorry, my bad. And she goes to London to study fashion, and she has this roommate, and she doesn't get along with people too well because she has different likings than them. Sorry about that voice crack. Different likings. They like more modern music. They like more modern dressing. She likes more retro things, and early on in the film, like in the very first scene, the opening scene, is well established that she loves movies and relics and music from the 60s, and she's just in love with the era. Just like me, I like the 60s. I like the Beatles. I like the psychedelic nature of it. Well, that's more in the late 60s, but you get the idea. I'm just kind of a very retro person. I look at something, I look at this age, this modern age of people constantly fighting each other, people constantly like posting stuff on Twitter, people constantly just doing a bunch of crap, and I go like, well, if I go back in the 60s, it's a much simpler time. So, time of no phones, time of people actually interacting with each other, times of, times where people could actually be people, and no fake social standards or nothing. It's just the 60s, music, hippies, love, peace, whatever. So this movie follows her. She gets a new apartment because she doesn't like her roommate and the people that she hangs out with. So she goes to Diana Rigg, the late Diana Rigg, rest in peace. She was pretty good in the film, and I'll tell you why. No spoilers. So she gets an apartment from her. It's like a very old-fashioned apartment, very, very kind of 60s looking. It's very nice. You've seen it in the trailer. And so she goes to sleep, she has her music, and she wakes up in the 60s. And she finds out that one of the predictions in my video was, oh, she is Anya Taylor-Joy, or something, some kind of connection there. But no, she kind of is. She kind of controls her at some points, but it's very like, you cannot change what has already happened. What your reaction would be her reaction, because the same way I react to certain things, other people would react to the same thing, the same way that I would react. So she's not really her, but she kind of follows her through. Thomasin McKenzie follows Anya Taylor-Joy character Sandy onto her inevitable fall. And through the film, you get to see that the 60s are not really what most people think. What we usually see is all glitz and glamour, but under that is something a little bit more disgusting and dirty. And that's not with everything from the 60s. There's a bunch of great and fun and exciting things from there. But with each decade, especially this decade, there's a lot of things that you picture are good, but once you start looking more into it, is not as great and glamorous as you might think of, just on the inside of it. So Sandy's character starts to realize what she has gotten herself into. Her life starts to decrease. Because of this, she does things that no person will want to do. And I like how Edgar Wright really, he doesn't like hammer home the point, but he just shows it. He doesn't tell, he just shows. And it's not done in a very modern way. And I had to give huge props to Edgar Wright, writer and director, how he represents the unfairness of how women were treated back then. It's not done very modernly with feminism or anything, just all that crap. It's done very old-fashionedly, how a movie from the 70s would also predict this. Well, not predict this, will also show this. And I thought it was done really well. I thought it was not hammered at home at all. I think it was very. It wasn't subtle without. It showed it without being too upfront and too subtle. Just the right amount. And I like how he represented that in this film, and the issues and Sandy's kind of change of character. And I thought that was done really well. So I have a couple things that I finally wrote something down because all my reviews are just very kind of here and there. So I wrote down general things general talk, most parts that I liked. I love the cinematography of this film. It is great. It's glamorous. It's gorgeous. This is one of the few films that I would love to get on 4K because most modern movies don't change with 4K. They look exactly the same. Very different from a movie from the 70s. You would change it to 4K, looking completely different and newer, and a new film that looks just a tiny bit newer. Barely any change. But with this, I would like to get a 4K, maybe even Steelbook. Who knows? So the cinematography is good. The acting's great. Thomasin McKenzie and Anya Taylor-Joy are fantastic in this movie. And it really goes to show, when you're put up to a film like this, it really shows if you're a good actor or actress. And everybody in this film is fantastic. Even Diana Riggs and the guy who plays a mysterious guy, that we've seen him in the trailer. I'm not going to tell you what his name is because it's a spoiler. It's not what you think it is. And don't look up the cast, otherwise you'll find out his name. But don't. The music, I think I like it better than Baby Driver because you guys are gonna hate me in my Baby Driver review, but in that movie, I can only remember like 5 songs, and only 3 of them I really like. I like Brighton Rock. I like the Never Ever Gonna Give You Up by Barry White, and I've liked what's another one that I like? Whatever. I like a couple songs from there. But in this movie, I constantly catch myself playing the songs over and over again on my computer, and it's just the music just so hip and fun and just like maybe a tiny bit psychedelic and has a kind of feel. It feels right in this movie. I think he did a fantastic job with his sound choice. Once again, you're gonna hate me for Baby Driver. Not too much, but just enough. Also, what I really like is that behind the scenes you can see how they filmed the 60s. In Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you get to see blocks and blocks and blocks and buildings of the 60s. In here, it's just a building. You go in a car, and then you arrive in another building. There's no like long landscapes of how the town looks or the city looks in the 60s. It feels very low budgety in a good way. They work around the fact that they didn't have enough money like Tarantino had to make this kind of new world. So they just had like a set location and then just a bunch of good kind of camera work and all that. And once again, Edgar Wright's attention to detail is fantastic in this. Actors and actresses, I already mentioned that. Everybody in this film is great. I really like their performances. I think that it's really good, especially Thomasin McKenzie's. How her kind of character and what she goes through, it's just so riveting and fun and slow burning and filled with dread. It's such great acting. I really thought her performance in this was great, and that's something that a lot of people are not talking about, and I just wanted to say that out there. I think everybody's acting in this movie is great. Just want to say that. Also, Anya Taylor-Joy. She's also really good in this film, and what they did with her character. Obvious homages. This was already said by Edgar Wright, but his 2 main homages was Don't Look Back, which I haven't seen, and Repulsion, which I haven't seen. and Repulsion was made in 1965, and then the other one was made in 75 or 72, 73. I don't know. But there's definitely a ton of Repulsion references, especially towards the end. You guys are going to get a ton of references and kind of like, oh yeah, he got this from this movie. As for Don't Look Back, maybe the slow burn feeling of it. I've seen some parts of the movie, so I know what I'm talking about. Some like slow burning scenes, some scenes where you see the danger approaching, but the other character doesn't know. Or what my English teacher will call dramatic irony, or whatever it's called, as it comes closer and closer. And it's like slow burning, and it's really done well. And the whole atmosphere of the movie just top notch. Very retro and feels like an old movie. It really does. Doesn't feel modern. Doesn't feel whatever. It feels like a movie from that time. Critic responses. Yeah, I don't know why. This is the lowest rated Edgar Wright movie. I'm not counting Fistful of Fingers. That's like his little home film. But as for critic responses, I don't know why critics are kind of, targeting this film. I mean, I know critics are kind of pricks, but at the same time, you gotta admit that I like this film better than Baby Driver. I've seen Hot Fuzz. I've seen a lot of parts from Shaun the Dead. Both great movies, but I think Last Night Soho should be in that category near them because it's such a good movie. I love this movie. It's great. And for it to have a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes and even going into the 60s category is just shameful. And this is the same people who gave 97% on Rotten Tomatoes to Black Panther. I mean, come on. So it's shameful. I mean, for the few YouTubers that like this movie, props to them. You guys are great. But I just don't get why it's not getting enough attention, why enough, but, I mean, I want it to get more likes and more attention. I want this movie to be Edgar Wright's kind of masterpiece, just like how Tarantino's Pulp Fiction was his masterpiece. I kind of want it to be that type of movie, but unfortunately the critic responses, I mean, I don't really care about critics. People like it, so it's good for them. I'm just saying that this movie should be given more attention. And a lot of people should be seeing it more because this doesn't have a good box office return. On a $40 million budget, this only right now has $20 million in box office. So it's really sad for me. So talk about Edgar Wright. Yeah, from this movie, I'm very excited to see. I'm so excited to see what Edgar Wright does next. And it's when I finished this movie, when I finished it and I walked out, I was like, I saw a really great movie, but it was so bittersweet at the same time because I knew that there'll never be really a movie like Last Night Soho, a movie that I was for an entire year looking forward to, an entire year making a couple videos here and there. An entire year looking the news almost every single day to see if there's any little resources on what the plot is actually about, and me keep guessing and making these videos and all of that, and for it to finally come out, it's I love it. I love that it came out, but it's so bittersweet at the same time. And I don't know. I felt like, oh my god, I saw this movie, a movie that I've been waiting a year to see. I mean, it's very bittersweet. And thank you, Edgar Wright, for making this movie. You're awesome. And anything that you'll do next, I'll be looking forward to it because you are now one of my favorite directors. I told you I've seen parts of Shaun the Dead, Hot Fuzz. I tried to watch Scott Pilgrim. I didn't get to finish it because I had a lot of stuff, but I liked it so far where I was at. I was like in the half an hour point. And in Baby Driver, I have a very different opinion from most people. And I don't dislike it. I just think it's okay. But it's not his best work. It was at one point his highest highest gross movie in terms of box office, and also in critic responses, like a 97. I mean, I'm just telling you, Last Night Soho is a better movie than Baby Driver, in my opinion. You guys can have your opinion. I'm just saying, I like this movie way better. And also the song Last Night Soho by Dave D, Dozy Mickett, and Titch, is also in the movie. So don't worry, it is in the movie. It just played at a perfect point. So just letting you know, it's in there. I hope you guys enjoy the point that is played at because it's just so perfect. I love it. Edgar Wright's amazing, and I love this movie. I'm giving it an A+, obviously, because I love the style in this movie. I love the screenplay, the idea of traveling back to the 60s, and this movie felt so fresh from everything that I have seen for a long time. This is one of the most refreshing and original films I've seen in years. This is great. I love it. I can't say enough. I mean, this movie it's good. Go watch it. I want you guys to support this movie because it really is something that people should be looking forward to. People should be watching this. People should be praising this. This is great. So yeah, A+. Thank you, everybody who worked on the film. Director, screenwriter, actors, actresses. Everybody is great. Also, I promised you guys to show you my costume, and here it is. So this is what I wore on Halloween. Probably you guys at school saw me wearing this. So you guys probably didn't recognize me because I had face paint, like a raccoon, you know, with the black around the eye. But yeah, this is what I was wearing. So yeah, it was cool. And then on the back, I have this little part where you can put the battle axe. Look at this thing, it's cool. And then you put it in the back, and then boom, post-apocalyptic survivor. So yeah, as I promised you, I did show it. So I hope you guys liked it. So thank you guys for watching this video. It's a little longer than I expected it to be, but I just wanted to make this video because I haven't made any videos in such a long time, and you know, because I got a little sick. So thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys watch this movie, and as always, peace out.